We thank you for staying with us. It is still the conversation here on Lagos Television. Lagos State's development vision is anchored on the Themes Plus agenda, which is a comprehensive framework designed to drive inclusive growth and institutional efficiency. And that's covering traffic management and transportation, health and environment, education and technology, making Lagos a 21st century economy, entertainment and tourism, security and governance, and of course the Plus agenda, which is a deliberate focus on social inclusion, gender equality and youth empowerment. On the conversation today, we'll take a holistic assessment of the Themes Plus agenda, examining its implementation, impact, and alignment with the everyday realities of Lagosians. Joining us on the conversation to dissect this topic or do a proper assessment on the Themes Plus agenda is Lukman Obulabi. He is a public affairs analyst, and of course we can call him the friend of the house. You're welcome, sir, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to Nigerians.
Yeah. All right, so we are doing an assessment on the Themes Plus agenda here. But looking at it overall now, how would you describe the impact, the overall impact of the Themes Plus agenda on the daily lives of Lagos residents?
You say impact on the daily lives of Nigerians, of Lagosians. It's definitely had a positive impact. Yeah, when you look at the developmental agenda, look at the the plan, the vision, which is encapsulated in the what we call the themes, now the Themes Plus agenda. You discover that they have made remarkable progress. But as I always say, Lagos, the bigger your head, the greater your headache. So the more you put all this developmental agenda in perspective, the more people get attracted and they will flood your place. And you know that Lagos is such a small place, just about 3,577 square kilometers, with 20 million people inside that small space. I mean, for context, you look at a place like Niger State. Niger State is about 22 times the size of Lagos State. 22 times the size of Lagos State. And they don't even have half the population of Lagos State. So you can just view the problem in perspective. So, and what is remarkable is that we know our situation in Lagos, and we are never tired of taking on the challenges, because I mean the statistics presents a huge challenge. So we are never tired of facing the challenges. And challenge of traffic management.
We'll take it one by one. Okay, so since you have mentioned traffic management, I just wanted you to just do an overall view on it, which you have given it as a positive.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that's a pass mark. All right, so for traffic management now, from a user's perspective, we apply the roads every day. For you, how has commuting in Lagos been under the current transportation strategy?
I think it's a lot better. And you know why it's a lot better? It's because most of the roads are now motorable, unlike what it used to be. We used to have bumpy roads all over the place, and that itself is a traffic nightmare. So now, because most of the roads are now being done, so it's easier for us to move from one place to the other. I mean, the last time, a few weeks ago, I went to Badagry, just to see a property. And surprisingly, from Surulere, when I left from Surulere, I spent only 1 hour, 10 minutes to get to Badagry. I was alarmed. I said, Badagry. Badagry, that you devote a whole day. So it shows that something is right. And in fact, that Badagry situation, I've also encouraged my auntie in the US that wants to buy a property in Lagos. I said, just go to Badagry now, because it's easier to access than unlike before. So when you look at that alone, you should know that something is happening in terms of traffic management. And then the transportation. I mean, Lagos, it's a bedlam. All kinds of transportation means. The good thing is that we are now going intermodal. We are now, attempting to use our waterways, which we have in abundance, and then we are also using the rail, which is also a very good thing. So it's becoming easier, despite the fact that the population is still blossoming. We still have, hope that government is doing something to ameliorate the situation. So that's also a positive. And in terms of the intermodal arrangement of transportation in Lagos, I mean, the Blue Line, and what can we say? How many people is transported per day, and also the Red Line, which is also thriving. I've taken it once from Oyingbo to Agbado before to attend the party. After the party, I took it back. So it's becoming, it's becoming more seamless, and the roads, as I said, are not as they used to be. So people can now move freely. Even if you have to spend 1 or 2 hours, you know that you are going on a free road. That's one advantage most of these developed countries. I wanted to use civilized, but I don't like that word.
We are
developed countries have. When you see their ring roads, the way they will travel 1 hour. When they say they have traveled 1 hour, if you know the distance they have covered in that 1 hour, you marvel. Also because of roads. So that's what they're also trying to achieve in Lagos. I was on. Okay, I can also remember from Ojota, immediately after the bridge, the road used to be a bit tacky all the way down to mile 12. All the way down to mile 12. And the Lagos State government took it upon itself and fixed that road. So things are a little better now in terms of commuting. What we need to do is the impunity of people, the downfalls and the rest of them parking on the road to pick passengers. That's still a challenge. The government really needs to look into that one, because everything needs to be seamless. It should not be, a bus stop should not be disturbing commuting. So that's one of the areas that we need to look into.
That would lead me to my next question of traffic management. Now, beyond the visible infrastructure of the buses, the trains, the ferries, how do you see Lagos measuring success in terms of traffic management?
Yeah, it's still, the management of the traffic is still a bit tacky. But I can just imagine, if I sit back here now and I just imagine and say, suppose last mile is not in Lagos. Nobody will move on Lagos. Just suppose, just think about it, imagine it, that we don't have last mile in Lagos.
Chaos.
Yeah, it would have been very chaotic, despite the challenges of the officers and men of last mile. Because sometimes you'll see that they are not doing the job the way they are supposed to do it. I mean, why should we have about 10, 15 last mile officials in Jibo bus stop? You just be seeing them walking all over the place, doing nothing. Drivers are doing their thing. Korokpes are doing their thing. Kekes are doing their thing, and you have about 15 of them. Sometimes I shout at them. I say, why? You are just standing here and look at the chaos that is happening. We cannot move because these people have blocked the road. So that one is there. So also, the reorientation, some are easily corrupted. They will not be able to speak to the downfall drivers because they have obviously been compromised by them, so they can't give them order. You see some of them go from the other end of the road and come onto this one, taking the culvert, and you'll see last mile officials standing there.
But again, is it not a people's problem? Because again, I try to put myself in the shoes of these last mile officials now. Maybe you have talked and people are not listening to you. I mean, you can't force.
You enforce the law. You enforce it. That's why you are there. It's a people's problem, all right. I mean, just look at developed countries. If they leave people to do whatever they like, everything will go asunder. So that's why they have the state machinery. They have the authority to enforce the laws. That is why they are there. So you need to enforce it. Even, I mean, it's been made easier for them now because they have given them cameras. Yeah, you can just take the video or the picture of any.
You don't have to be hostile.
Yeah, you don't even need to talk to them. Just take the video. I mean, many people have received SMS before that you did so and so. So that's the kind of thing we should be doing, not necessarily fighting with downfall drivers on the road. So those they should also improve on how they do things. They are doing a great work. I acknowledge it, but they also need to, and that goes to the leadership. It also goes to the, I'm also aware that they have sanctioned a lot of them. You know, I've been opportune to witness panels that are set up just to discipline most of those errant LASMA officials too. So I know that things are being done along that line, but it seems that some people are just incorrigible and they are set in their ways. But enforcement, monitoring, that's what I would tell them. Yeah, I mean, the state authorities regarding traffic management in Lagos.
Right. Enforcement monitoring needs to be improved upon.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's not a total pass mark, right? It's the half.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, moving on to health and environment now. Let's start with the health. When you look at the level of, I don't know how often you visit the primary healthcare centers, but when you look at the level of service delivery of the health officials there, and of course access to primary health centers, access to doctors, nurses, how would you rate it?
You see, it's I think it boils down
and also
to
the hospitals.
Yeah, I think it's the hospitals are they are making progress in terms of, you know, building the hospitals, and because the people are there, the population is there. So regardless of what they build, there will still be need to build more. You know, that is a challenge that we have. If you go to a clinic where they give primary health care, you know, in a local government, for instance, if you see the number of people that are there, you know, you marvel. And it also boils down to what we said earlier on about the bigger your head, the greater your headache. So there will always be need to build more. And then in terms of training and the personnel, we need to have more personnel. In a situation where one person will have to take care of 200 people, I mean, the person is human. So it will get to a boiling point where he or she will not be able to give the service as required. So we need more personnel in that area. And we also need, you know, monitoring of the way they administer drugs, the way they manage the drugs that they have. Are they giving the required drugs at the hospital, or the personnel are selling the drugs and then telling the people to go and buy outside? You know, because I've seen situations like that. I was impressed when I wanted to remove one of my teeth, and I went to a private hospital. I got to the private hospital, and I think to remove a tooth, they were charging me about 150,000 naira. Yeah. I had already paid, I'd taken the card, I'd already paid the deposit, and so I had done all that, and they couldn't even do it for me that day. They said they gave me about 2-3 days after. I said, I'm feeling pain, and you're asking me to come in 2-3 days. And I got home and told my wife, and I said, 2-3 days with what you're experiencing. Just called someone at the Bagada General Hospital and said, my husband is coming, you know, please let me take it. I went to the Bagada General Hospital. I saw the man and said, I should go and register. I registered, paid for, they said I would pay for the service to remove the tooth. And when I asked them how much I'm going to pay, they said 7,000 naira. I said, are you sure you are going to remove my tooth, or or you want to brush my teeth? They said to remove the tooth. And lo and behold, I was met with courteous young dentist at the Bagana General Hospital. And there and then, they removed my tooth, gave me drugs, and asked me to go. I couldn't believe it. I was telling everybody I met that sometimes we underrate these establishments, because we always assume that what people say, I mean, government hospital, what would they be doing there? So many people go outside and waste money. You can imagine 150,000 naira just to remove a tooth, and I did it for 7,000 naira with great care. So I still recommend that Bagada General Hospital to everybody that I meet. Now I'm on Ilera Eko.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about
that. Oh
yeah,
and I'm now on Ilera Eko because I was using some others before, and I've gotten disappointed many times. I said, okay, if this is the kind of service I will get, then I'd better switch to Ilera Eko, that I'm just going to pay maybe about 15,000, 20,000 naira per annum, and they will take care of me very well. So I'm now on Ilera Eko, and it is working for so many people. My family is on Ilera Eko. Many of my friends are now in Ilera Eko. You know, because when I see something good, I broadcast it. So many people have caught the bug. They are now on Ilera Eko. They are no longer looking at paying so much outside, you know, because many of these things can be done at our general hospitals, at, you know, the secondary hospitals.
I think again, the issue of people not wanting to use this government-owned health facilities maybe has to do with the issue of trust again. Is there a need for government to build trust in the health institutions, you know, for the people to
I even think it's more of the delay. It's more of the delay. Well, it can also boil down to trust. I mean, when you go somewhere and you believe that they will waste your time there, you know, that's also a question of trust. They will waste your time there. You'll sit down there for many hours, and they might even ask you to come the following day. You know, I will not say that does not happen, you know, because of the quantum of people they have to deal with. So it will definitely happen. That's why government needs to keep expanding and then getting people to go into that area. I mean, you can imagine. I'm a witness to many of these maternal and child care centers that has been built around now. You know, where I was in the one at the one in Badagry, and I was so impressed when I saw it. You know, maybe because of the relatively low population. I mean, it was just like a private hospital that you have to pay. But just because many people are not using it at that level, transpose that to somewhere in Sanwo-Olu, and you will see, you know, the population of people that will come there just to use the facility. So, in many areas that the places have been built, they are using them to the maximum level. To the maximum level. You can see 100, 200 people in such facilities waiting, you know, to be attended to. And it goes to show that, you know, Lagos has the population. So we cannot ask people not to come to Lagos because it's a free place to go. I mean, that's what the Constitution of Nigeria says. So we have to keep expanding and imploring those other states to kindly provide such facilities in their own states so that the people will not have to come to Lagos. Now we are building the biggest children's hospital in Africa. Every time I go to Adeniji Adele and Butelefon and all those areas, I make sure that I I go around that place and just see the progress that they are making. You know, the car park, the huge facility there. I'm thinking where they're going to get people to man that facility, because it's such a huge facility. It's the biggest I have seen. I marvel every time I pass through that place. I go down there and I look at it and say, wow.
It's a huge project.
It's a huge project, and it's been done by Lagos State government. I'm so proud. I'm so proud when I go home.
All right, still on the health and environment pillar now, let's move to environment. In practical terms, how well do you think the state has done in addressing environmental challenges, looking at flooding, waste management, and sanitation?
Lagos is an island, so there really no way we can escape flooding. But what I've noticed is that in recent times, whenever it floods, you'll see the body of water there. And when you go to that same place in a couple of hours, it's gone. So that means they are doing a lot. A lot of desilting is going on, and they are up and doing. I remember back in the day, Dr. Muiz Banere, when he was Commissioner for Environment, and the BRF was governor, he said, sometimes it will not sleep, especially during rainy season, because Governor Fashola might be going around in that rain, and he will notice something. Even if it's 3 a.m., he will put a call to him and say, Muiz Onsoni, you are sleeping. And these people, how will they, you know that people are going to move to work in the morning around 5 to 6 a.m. and this place is flooded. That's how we will stand up. We will also call the gang that will do the silting and the flooding and all those things. They will stand up and they will be there and walk before dawn so that people can go to work. So I look at the Tokunbo Wahab and I sometimes I pity him because he must be a superman before he faces the challenge of people who are building on drainages, people building in green areas, and there are so many in Lagos. Then he has to deal with the problem of pollution, people that are polluting the environment, whether it is noise, whether it is waste, he has to deal with that too. And he also has to deal with Loma. He has to deal with PSP. He has to deal with highway managers. He has to deal with all that. Sometimes I send message to him when I see that something has gone wrong. I send a message to him and he will reply me after about 1 or 2 hours that they fixed it. And I will go there and I'll see that they have fixed it. I say, wow, how can a public servant be so passionate? The guy is doing a yeoman's job. I pity him because I'm not sure whether he sleeps. Because the problems, the challenges, let me call it challenges, not problems. The challenges in Lagos is enormous. It is gargantuan that you do not have time to rest. So again, the bigger your problem, the bigger your head, the greater your headache. Okay, so that is what is happening in Lagos State.
Commended that in the area of the government. Now let's talk about the people. Compliance, because we have environmental policies and regulations that the government has put in place, you know, to put all these things in check. But again, the compliance level of residents, there are people who are still recalcitrant. You still find people who will park their beautiful cars and then dump waste on the roadside. So I'd like you to address that too.
Yeah, it's a culture. Because that's the way we have been sort of brought up to deal with public facilities. We don't realize that whatever we do in terms of the public space will always come back to us. So the culture has to be tempered by enforcement of the laws. And this is what I always say. It has to be tempered by enforcement of the law. Where there is no enforcement of the law, the people will do whatever they like. they will do it because it's convenient for them to do. They will cross the road, the expressway, even underneath the footbridge. If there is no enforcement, I was making an example the other day. I said sometimes we have to go digital in terms of how we deal with these things, like the BRT lane, for instance. I mean, why should there be BRT monitoring team? Why should we have that? All you need to do is put spikes. When we were using the toll gate at Lekki, by the time we were coming, we had stickers. When we were coming, the bar will raise and we'll pass through just because it was able to pick our stickers. So the same kind of thing should be done on the BRT lane. Why should we have 15, 20 officers monitoring and telling downfall drivers not to go, or military men or policemen, because that's what they do, because they know that nobody will stop them. The last one officials cannot arrest them. So they do whatever they like. You know, such impunity, I see it every day, and I get disgusted. Why should you not put spikes on the BRT lane? Why should a downfall driver be contesting the road with a BRT bus? I mean, simple laws. You'll assume that people with common sense will understand that, but they don't. So you have to enforce. Just put spikes there. Let them pass through. If you're going to be controlling by remote, yeah, do it. Otherwise, you use stickers or something. By the time they go there once, nobody will go touch there again. That's how to teach people how to conform. So, you know, those who enforce discipline in our society, they are overwhelmed by the, you know, the number of people that ensures that impunity, you know, continues. So, what government needs to do also is to put out more people, employ more people to do it, whichever way they want to do it. Just make sure that all these places are monitored. What stops government from the TCN in Maryland, where people dump waste every time? And that was the one I had to inform the Commissioner for Environment about. Every day that I pass there, if they pack it today, the following day it is full. You'll be wondering, who are these people? Are they witches and wizards? When do they come to dump this thing? Because I see it in the morning, they pack it later in the day, and the following morning when I'm doing my work, the place is full.
But that will also lead me to a question of asking how, because that place is under a local government. So,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so what are the responsibilities of the local government also in ensuring that the state government's strategy to ensure that the environment is clean is also maintained?
Oh, you see, the local government is worse off in terms of monitoring and enforcement. You know why? Because they are more about revenue than ensuring that a place is kept, you know, spick and span. If you want to say that, just let some traders take over a road, put their stalls, and disturb traffic. The local government will not see them. They will just go and meet them and tell them they are paying 20,000 naira a month. They are particular about revenue and not enforcement. That's why the weight is on the state government to keep monitoring and enforcing the laws.
Should it be so? It
should not be so. So in that wise, I think I remember they had a parley recently, the state government and the local government chairman. In fact, when this new set of local government chairmen were sworn in, I remember they had a parley with them that, look, you are partners in progress. Don't just sit back and expect us to do it, because the local state government must have seen that the weight of having to deal with this thing is too much on us. And you are there at the local level. When you put up a shop there now, when you let's say rent a shop somewhere, and you bring your goods and tell them you are selling this, and the local government will get to you in the next 1 or 2 days. They watch everywhere. They will get to you. Put your stuff here and start selling boli. They will get to you.
So it means they are aware, they are informed.
They are aware, they know, they see everything. They see everything, but they are more interested in the revenue. So I hope that with the party they had, with the new set of local government chairmen in Lagos, maybe they'll be more interested in their environment. Because I mean, as a local government chairman, I would be happy to see that my local government is clean. Maybe the government also has to institute another prize for them, the cleanest local government. Maybe some of them, maybe some of them will just be motivated to, and they can set an example for others to follow. Maybe that's another way of looking at it. Otherwise, they should be stringent in the application of laws that are there for us to see.
Okay, let's move on. I'm hoping that we'll be able to cover this.
I hope.
The time is, running. Let's look at education and technology now. Looking at the, since the emergence of the themes, it started with themes agenda and themes plus. Looking education at improvements in education, infrastructure, teachers training, and all.
That's another area which I think the Lagos State government has done very well. And I also want to commend some local governments for what they have done in terms of the infrastructure for primary schools. Because constitutionally they are in charge of primary schools. And I will make particular mention of this guy. He is left now at Bariga. I've forgotten his name there. That's
the former chairman.
Yeah, the local government chairman, the last one before the new one. They built a school near somewhere in Sanwo-Olu area, and I saw the school. I thought it was a British primary school, and it's so beautiful. And I said, wow, you put this standard of primary school in this area. And I was so impressed. I was so impressed by it. And that shows that some people are conscious of their responsibilities. So, and I think many local governments like that, maybe they have seen what some are doing, so they are motivated to. So I think there's a spiral effect on that now. They are now building beautiful schools, habitable schools in habitable environments, And as for the state, they have also been building schools, and they have been renovating, most of those other schools. I saw one in, I forgot the name. I saw one in Bariga and in Badagry. Badagry is such a beautiful place now. I've become an advocate. The last time I went there, I couldn't believe it. I said, because before a few weeks ago that I went there, I've not been there for maybe like 10 years, because of the road. It's a headache. Even to go and access all those beautiful beaches and stuff in Badagry, I couldn't, because of the road. How would I go from that mile 2 to Badagry? It was a hell. So I just blotted my mind completely from it. But for this last one, I had to go because I wanted to see a property, which my auntie was interested in. And I went there, and I couldn't believe it. I said, this is Badagry. Agbadarigi. It is maybe sometimes I wanted to say, is Sanwo-Olu from this area? Because he has done so much. It was like the way Ambode did in Ekwe. I wanted to say, is Sanwo-Olu from this area? Because he has done so much for them. Even housing projects, Ajara, Idale, all those places, and they are building roads, beautiful roads for them. I said, Even some in the metropolis don't have this kind of facilities, but we have them. So Badagry is such a beautiful place. I saw some of the schools that have been built there, and those they are renovating. So they are doing that all over the place, and they're also giving them tablets and phones, to work with.
It's for the teachers.
Yeah, for the teachers, training aids, and it's the teachers are happy that something like that is happening, and they should keep it up in terms of the teachers, because without the teachers, the pupils will not get the benefit of the correct education that they have. So that's why I've also always advocated that, look, there are some people that you need to treat specially. No, truly, you have some people you need to treat specially. They are the teachers, they are your health practitioners. Because education and health, they are so important that you cannot toy with them. It's not the kind of thing that you do, that you toy with them, because you are toying with the future and the well-being of your people.
Okay,
so
because
you have
of
to treat
time,
them specially. Okay.
Let me join this. We have making Lagos the 21st century economy. We have entertainment and tourism. Now, looking at the 30 December that just ended in Lagos, you had the Ayo Festival. And then some other activities, that we had before the end of the year. How well do you think Lagos has done?
They have. Lagos has improved. Lagos has done very well. In terms of, it's a mega city already. So they are trying to make it a 21st century mega city in terms of facilities, so that's why all those rail, the new roads being built. I was impressed with the road that was built from Bagada area, Deeper Life, all the way to the University of Lagos Gate. It went around like that, and they built it all the way to University of Lagos Gate. So this is the kind of development we should be having, because that place was also a no-go area. You could not pass through the place. So those kind of things is making Lagos the 21st century mega city. And the dirty December, Lagos has earned that kind of reputation, because Lagos will always attract public and private investment. I mean, the Dangote refinery is there. It didn't come by happenstance. It was deliberate, because Lagos is conducive for people who want to invest, so they will invest. That's why the economy keeps improving. That's why when Governor Sanwo-Olu took office in 2019, the IGR was about 389 billion naira per year. Now it's all about 2 trillion. So that means they are building the economy. The IGR is growing. And when the IGR grows, they also put it in infrastructure. I mean, the John Randall Center, for instance, I was there 2 weeks ago. I love the place. Anyone that comes from abroad, I will always take them there. The Nickel Gallery, all those places are there for you to go in Lagos. There's so much you can see. I mean, the Ikoyi Link Bridge, for instance, you can also go there and see. I take people there. Then the one that is happening now, the legacy project that is going on in Okwebi to Odoyalaru, Ojota, Link Bridges. I mean, it will do a lot to free the Mobology Bankantoni area and the Keja area, all those Okwebi axes. That's the way to think. You keep looking at everything and say, see, this is what will happen in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And then you build towards it. That is what is happening in Lagos.
Okay, briefly, what are your expectations for 2026?
Well, I hope that that link bridge that I spoke about will be open now, so that people can enjoy the benefit of it. There's also a walkway there. You can walk from Ojota to Okwebi in 15 minutes. That's also an improvement. And you don't have to take a bus. You don't have to take Okada or whatever. Just walk 15 minutes from Ojota. You are in Okwebi. You know, so that's one of the advantages of a government that is forward-looking. So I hope that, you know, so many of such projects, you know, the housing projects, the phase 1 and phase 2 of all those projects that have taken place, they will be built, you know, for the benefit of Lagosians. Our roads will be widened, and our environment will be made cleaner, you know, so that they can attract many people. Many other investors can come and say, look, and in terms of waste management, we are still doing waste disposal. We need to transit to waste management. By the time we start producing biofuels, you know, from our waste, we probably won't be seeing them all over the game, because that would be an incentive, you know, for people to now put their waste together, because they can gain something from it. So I'm sure that there's a center inside University of Lagos where they are hoping to start the project now. You know, that's why we still have landfills. We shouldn't have landfills again. We should have places where they are producing biofuel. Take your waste there. And I think that's where the Lagos State government too is going, because I heard the commissioner speaking about it one day. So those are the kind of things that I say make life better, make it less difficult for people. In terms of impunity on our roads, I want to see better traffic management. You know, because in Lagos, most of the traffic situations that we encounter are man-made. They're no longer, it used to be roads.
People
but they
problem.
they're no longer roads, they are now people problem. Downfalls, parking in authorized areas and the rest of it. You know, all those kind of things that, you know, that makes life easy for people. That's what I want to see.
We must thank you again, Lukman Owolabi, for being objective in assessing the Themes Plus agenda of the state. Thank you so much for your time on the conversation.
Always my pleasure.
The program continues shortly. Stay with us.